Josh, good morning. How is your day going so far?
It's going great, man. Happy to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. That looks like it's the belt behind you on the chair. Am I seeing correctly on that end?
You have my Destiny heavyweight championship over here, and then this is a replica that we had made of the tag team championships. I have the X Division championship under lock and key hiding from my children right now, so I can't really put it on display.
I can only imagine. And congratulations on that recent victory of becoming the X Division champion. I know that was a long time in the works goal. And did I hear correctly on the podcast you did with your wife, you only learned about the match about a week before it happened?
I knew about the match. Ace Austin probably won that championship maybe 4 to 6 weeks before that. And I didn't think in my mind that we'd switch the belt that quickly. And so it never materialized until Scott loosely mentioned I'd be defending the championship on a television taping. And I was just like, defending what? And he just said it in passing, and then that was it. So I don't think in his mind he thought I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I think he thought it was just oh, everybody knows Josh is going to win, blah, 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 but whatever. And so it was surprising to me. And then I just had to live with that for 7 days until I showed up to the pay-per-view. And I was like, oh, I actually am going to be X Division champion. That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you know who you'll be defending it against all odds?
I don't believe I will be defending it against all odds. Right now we're in an area of time where we don't have a number one contender and everybody's fighting to be number one contender. So until we have one decisive person, I will just sit and wait and see how it plays out.
Makes sense to me. You earned it. You're going to take your sweet time with defending it, having it, and all that. But an observation I find, having interviewed a lot of prior X Division champions from Impact, is that seems to be the belt that everybody wants to have rather than the World Championship. In other words, it seems like it has this level of critical acclaim to it that maybe the World Championship doesn't have. Am I totally off base in saying that?
No, not totally off base. I would say that the World Championship totally has a lot of acclaim and luster, and it's definitely something that I would like to win. The problem is, as a fan of just in-ring pro wrestling, I don't care if it's hard-hitting, technical, high-flying, whatever. That's what the X Division has embodied to me. The best wrestlers in the world have been X Division champion. Now they've gone on to bigger and better things. AJ Styles, Low-Ki, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels. I can name all these names. And it's much in the same way that everyone used to look at the Intercontinental Championship, if you think about it. It's the workhorse championship. You think of Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, and that's the Intercontinental kind of level. The X Division is the exact same extension of the exact same thing to me. I think it's the pro wrestler's title. That's why you get that.
But in spite of all that respect, we see Jade doing those videos of her sneaking the hats onto you. So it's this interesting dichotomy of this super respected guy, but at the same time, he can't sleep without getting things put on his head.
Yes, my wife knows how to diffuse whatever angry and stoic demeanor I might have. So she likes to exploit that when she can, because she knows she can get away with it, unlike everybody else.
Well, you are the first two-time guest on the See You Next Tuesday podcast, and that latest episode that you were just on, very interesting. A lot of compelling conversation between you two on there. And I like the part where you talked about the difficulty of having to be, quote unquote, Stoneface Iceman, Josh Alexander. Yet you've gotten to smile the past couple of months, which I don't think you did your first few years in Impact. I don't think we once saw you smile on camera. Was it difficult for you to have to hide that side to you that when you want to be, you can be this relaxed, pleasant, wonderful, smiley, funny human being?
I mean, it's not difficult. It's just all in the character you play at the time, right? I went from being one of the badass tag team heels for 2 years to being now what is considered a tweener or a baby face. You know what I'm saying? If you look back at the North, I was never a traditional heel in the sense of I didn't poke people in the eyes or low blow behind the ref's back, or I didn't cheat to win. I was always the one that competed out of the tag team. You know what I mean? I was just in there to be the wrestler. And I think now I'm the exact same wrestler I was then. It's just I don't have this mouthpiece behind me getting me all this heat. So it's I might smile a little too much now for some people's liking, but it's just more comfortable for me.
Not for me. I think you're fine on that end. And in going through your social media, you definitely look to be a student of the game. Like seeing you tweeting about Kojima coming in, you're very excited about that. Seeing you in Bret Hart attire. Was wrestling always your number one hobby and interest before it was your career?
Yeah, I would say I've never been passionate about anything else. That would be the easiest way to put it. Like there was years where I wasn't a wrestling fan. Like I didn't discover wrestling until I was 11 or 12, really. And before that, like I can't remember really being obsessed with anything. And it was just I found this one thing and I like it completely consumed my entire life. And now it is my entire life. Really to look at everything I've done, everything I do from day to day to my wife, my relationship is all because of pro wrestling. My children are here because of pro wrestling. So it's something that's definitely consumed my entire life, and I'm very happy about it because it's the only thing I want to do.
Well, what's the number two? Because again, going through that social media, we see a good Roadhouse reference. We see you being excited about I'm sorry, why did I say Led Zeppelin? Limp Bizkit coming back very soon. So I don't know if music was the number two or old movies was the number two.
I definitely have a love for old action movies because I grew up watching like Bloodsport and all this other stuff, Universal Soldier and whatever. But I would say movies in general are my number two, and basketball would be a close third. But I just love those three things. Yeah, wrestling, basketball, and film.
Makes sense to me. So a lot of people who are at your level of career you're almost 15 years.
I'll be at 16 years in November. Yeah.
So somebody who's a veteran, but keep in mind you're a very young veteran because you're in your early 30s, you got your early start, who's done the championship thing. Most people at that kind of pedigree are going, well, my acting career is going to kick off at blank. Do you have any instincts of acting, or is really wrestling all you hope to do the rest of your life and wrestling related things?
My long-term plan that I've written down and discussed with my wife is I think I got 15 good years of pro wrestling in me, if not more, depending on, the miracles of modern science by the time that time rolls around. But after that, it's going to be, I'm going to be a producer. I'm going to be an agent. I'm going to be a trainer. I'm going to be involved in the wrestling business my entire life. This is, like I said, it's the only thing I'm passionate about. And I've worked very hard to get good at it. So I think I can apply that to other careers after I'm done in the ring.
Cool. And Jade was teasing an in-ring return earlier this week on social media. Anything you can say about that?
I am as clueless as everybody else after watching the initial video. I know she will be dropping more teasers as the time goes along, but she seems very excited about it, which is good because a happy wife is a happy life.
Well said. Well said. These photos were hung up by my wife, so she can tolerate it. It goes. Two quick questions. Then you're a free man to talk to the rest of the media out there that wants to talk to the champ. And that first question is, besides Limp Bizkit, do you have a favorite band?
My go-to always, my father was a musician. He was an acoustic musician, kind of country-ish folk. So like Neil Young is what I grew up listening to nonstop. And I just have this attachment to Neil Young. So I would say he's like my favorite artist of all time. As far as bands go, like people can make fun of it all they want. Limp Bizkit and Nickelback are two of my favorite bands ever. I think it was just the generational thing of me being a teenager when those bands were hot, man. And every time I listen to it, it gives you that nostalgic feeling. So that's what gets me hyped up.
Well, you're not alone based on those festival headlining statuses that both of those bands have. And the closer, Josh, besides check out my social media account at walking_weapon, is any last words for the kids?
Ooh, other than stay in school and don't do drugs, I guess. Something more profound. It just, if you're a wrestling fan, please tune into Impact Wrestling every Thursday night on Access at 8 p.m. You can check out BTI at 7 p.m. for the lead-in. And anytime you hear my music and you see me walk down that ramp, I promise you, you will get 110% of everything I have in my body to make sure that you see a badass pro wrestling match.
Well, if it wasn't clear enough, I'll say it again. Looking forward to everything you have coming up, even if there is no match at Against All Odds. Just congratulations on finally getting to where you wanted to be, Josh, and keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.